Hello there. Welcome to the Harley Carnes Podcast. Harley on the headlines. Quick look. Sometimes a little bit of opinion on stories of the day. I've said this so many times, but it's true. The cool thing is we don't know what the day's going to offer. Sometimes some things are predictable, but there are always some surprises. I mean, I hope you'll find something worthwhile in these brief visits, and thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. I hope you'll like, follow, subscribe, make an email, send it to some friends, call your mom. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, he called himself your friendly federal assassin, which tells you how far afield from clarity Cole Thomas Allen was when he invaded the D.C. Hilton in hopes of shooting President Trump or some of his people, as he put it, when they arrested him. It's still early in the investigation. There are some things we do know or are apparent. First, I guess, some good news. Not always easy to find, but here we are. The layers of security worked. He only got as far as the lobby, managed to run through the magnetometer, but he was tackled before reaching the ballroom where the correspondents' dinner was just getting underway. It's good news that he was apparently a lone actor, no accomplices at the venue, no additional gunmen to try to make an entry. Allen sent messages, a kind of manifesto. This is what I'm going to do and why, to members of his family just before the attack. His brother got in touch with New London, Connecticut police because that's where he lives, and they say federal law enforcement was immediately called with the information, though the chances of it getting there quick enough are pretty slim, right? Because it happened just beforehand. One agent was shot in the vest, going to be fine. The dinner is expected to be rescheduled soon, weeks from now. President Trump was cool and calm under the pressure of being targeted for a third time. His resilience is remarkable by every measure, and his openness and forgiving attitude is actually inspiring. President Trump will have a whole new collection of thoughts for his speech, no doubt, when they do have the dinner. He's already hinted it'll be about love and putting aside political differences. Now, if the Democrats on the Hill could only drink from that cup and grow their first statesman-like bone, and give political peace and cooperation a chance, what a wonderful world it would be. Really. We know that Allen purchased several weapons from a gun store in California and kept them at his parents' home. They say they had no idea that he had guns in the house. Now, some people shake their heads and wonder, how is that even possible? Well, of course it is. And it's equally lamentable. In his writings, we're told that Allen referred to his hatred of Trump and Christianity and the affront he found to his progressive way of thinking. He had checked into the hotel the day before and wrote how surprised he was that he could get his guns into the building as easily as he had done. He never really got into the ballroom. In fact, people inside didn't really know what was going on for a while, though the sight of the president, vice president, members of the cabinet, and their wives being hustled away by Secret Service served as a pretty good clue. He was a lefty, supported Kamala Harris in the last election, highly educated, a computer science nerd, and a professor, was therefore supposed to be quite smart. Then how could he do something so stupid? Fair question. Maybe you've noticed that White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's face has gotten a bit fuller. There's a glow about her. Yes, she is famously pregnant and will be going on maternity leave. I guess she's on leave now, actually. She is clearly one of the most commanding of the facts of whatever the issues are as they arise of any spokesperson we've seen in modern times, if ever. Unflappable, loyal, and smart as hell. So much so, the White House is going to have other people rotating in front of the media at briefings. There's even word Vice President Vance may field reporter questions in her stead a time or two. Might be fun for him. And don't be surprised if President Trump doesn't come out and do what he does more than any other president ever, stand and take questions until the reporters run out. And Caroline knows she's having a girl. Federal employee maternity leave can be up to 3 months, 12 weeks, though whether she will take it all is, of course, not yet known. Now, this is kind of interesting. Those on the left find it immediately alarming. President Trump has fired the members of the National Science Board, all of whom work at the president's pleasure. Their job is to advise the National Science Foundation. Now, it's not a political appointment, but Trump says some of them have made what they do about politics, so he's replacing them. A lot of them. Said Democrat Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren of California, this is a quote, "This is the latest stupid move made by a president who continues to harm science and American innovation, a real bozo the clown move." Now, in point of fact, we don't know that. We don't know who he will name to take their places. I think there are 5 positions. What their science and technology and innovative credentials will be. We don't know if they will be politically partisan or not. We lack facts. Now, for the science-minded, that matters, or it should. Maybe it makes sense to wait and see what and who happens next and then make some judgments. What happens in our hemisphere after the U.S. finally gets finished in Iran, whatever that will look like? Chances are at some point the Trump administration will take a more serious look at what can be done about the huge and powerful drug cartels who are enemies of this country. In Colombia, a narco-terror attack has killed at least 20 people and injured at least 3 dozen. These were civilians, not combatants. 15 women, 5 men dead. In one 2-day period, there were at least 2 dozen narco-terror incidents there in Colombia. So anyone you know who wants to claim that drug cartels are not terrorist organizations, tell them check with the good folks in Colombia and Peru and Venezuela and Mexico. What's to be done? That's a nettlesome kettle of piranhas for sure. Jungles like Vietnam, cartel fighters better armed than the Viet Cong were. A very difficult problem. And none of those countries are asking the U.S. to join the fight any more deeply than we already have done. That's why one of the most effective tools in President Trump's gun belt is to blow the fast mover drug boats out of the water and keep our border as tightly controlled as possible, only letting people in who are properly vetted and invited to come in and to become U.S. Americans. As the weather warms, and it is hot in parts of the South at times already, the thunderstorms can become really big. Storm fronts become really fast-moving and violent, and tornadoes can come rolling out of those black clouds to rip across the countryside. At least 2 people are dead, multiple homes destroyed in Texas, North Texas, a town called Runaway Bay, and near Springtown. Those towns are 45 and 30 minutes northwest of Fort Worth. These were F2 and F1 twisters, not big. EF2 can have winds of 135 miles an hour. That's like a compact and pretty vicious hurricane wind with very, very low pressure inside that funnel, which can make a house explode even if the house can withstand the force of the wind. They sound like a train. They sound like a plane. They sound like bad news every time. Picked up a story from the AP about Radio Taiso in Japan. It's not a radio station per se. It's a radio program, an exercise program, and millions of people participate in it. It's early in the morning, about 6:30 every morning, and people do start their lives with it. You know, we could learn from this. I'm not suggesting we have such a program on radio stations all over America, but this is what they do. Calisthenics, torso twists, arms swinging up, out, bending at the hips, jumping, running in place, all of it orchestrated by the voices on the radio. It's simple stuff, about a dozen basic moves. You do it standing or you do it with a chair. It is not something to turn your nose up over. We don't need Pilates or gym memberships or expensive trainers and all kinds of weights and machines to be in excellent physical shape. Your body is weight enough, and breathing is something you already do, but you can probably learn to do that better with more attention and awareness. The key to the success of Radio Taiso, and it dates back to 1928, by the way, is routine, consistency, every morning. Early to bed, maybe, but early to rise for sure. Helps make you healthier, maybe wealthier, and, hey, wiser. I guess that'll do it. I want to thank you for dropping in and tuning in today. Sure hope you'll come back. I hate when I do that. I mean, I do. You start the music and stop the music and have to start it again. That's all right. It's playing in it. I do hope you'll come back. Bring some folks with you. You've given me a little bit of your time, and I do appreciate it. Also worth mentioning, we're found on Spotify, video and audio, X, Facebook, and so forth. More places, too, when I figure out how to do it. I'm Harley Carnes. Until next time, do yourself a favor. Make some good, conscious choices in your life today. Make a decision to be happy. And fly safe, please. It is the only way to get there.